Yeah, thanks, Joe. This is Roland down the hall in Studio B. Happy weekend. Weekend knocking on the door. What better way to bring it in than live music? Brought to you today by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. And we welcome in Front Country.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. When was the last time y'all were here? A couple years ago? Something?
Yeah, I think 2017 maybe.
Yeah.
It was when our last record came out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Well, it's good to have you back. It's about time you got back through here. Big show tonight up at Pisgah Brewing in Black Mountain. And we get a little taste today. What's your first song?
Well, first song is actually a new song, and it is going to be on our record coming out sometime next year, and it is called This Lonesome Song.
Observe this lonesome song.
All right. Live music today from Studio B from Front Country. This Lonesome Song. Is that the name of that one?
Yeah.
This Lonesome Song is like an upbeat pop song.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't have to make sense, man.
No, I'm all on board. I read somewhere that you describe your music as roots pop, and I think that was just about self-explanatory right there on that song. Huh?
Right?
Is that,
Yeah. There you go.
How long did it take to become a roots pop artist?
I think it's always been deep within our hearts, honestly.
Yeah.
That's kind of been where this band came from. And we've always done like pop covers, and all of that's just sort of seeped into what we do. We all come from varied backgrounds, too. I think
Right.
none of us were raised with traditional bluegrass.
It's fun because you burst on the scene 8 years ago, something like that, and you were a bluegrass band from out west. But yeah, like you said, there were always these things that didn't jibe. What are the backgrounds of the band musically?
Ooh, I guess everyone would have to speak to that themselves. I was raised in California. My dad plays guitar, mandolin, and he does play bluegrass. Kind of just with his buddies at the festival. So I was raised around it a bit, but also all the pop music.
Yeah.
You know, I was raised on the Beatles and the Beach Boys and all that stuff. Around just really eclectic music, and the story could go on and on. But Roscoe, where are you from, man?
Well, that's a great question, Melody. I actually have just come to terms with being from California. Like in the last couple of years, I moved there when I was 12 to Southern California, and that's when I started playing a lot of music, really focusing on it, and got involved in like an acoustic folk kind of community, through a music store that had jams and stuff, and so.
Classical background?
Yes, and then as obviously I went to conservatory to study classical guitar. So that's what you do.
Just another classical guitarist from California who plays bluegrass.
Exactly, 100%.
On a mandolin.
Yeah. It all makes sense. Yeah.
Jacob, how about you, buddy?
Oh, well, I grew up in Richmond, Virginia,
Yeah, man.
not too far away, and actually used to go to camp down here at Camp Rockmont.
Yeah.
Martin wanted me to say that because I love it down there.
Yeah. Why
And,
wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's such a great place. But I grew up playing mostly rock and roll and blues, and then translate that into going to school for jazz. And while I was studying jazz, started playing roots music and getting really into old time music and bluegrass. And then moved out to California and kind of split my time there for a long time between like world music, playing like Afrobeat, like Fela Kuti music, and bluegrass.
Wait.
And weird, and the Bay Area is like the new acoustic mecca. So getting to see like David Grisman, those people.
How weird is that step over from like Afrobeat to bluegrass? Where are the synchronicities?
It's really weird. And when I was in that band, that was like my main touring band for a while. It was this Afrobeat band. I was playing electric guitar, and I was constantly trying to figure out a way to fuse the two. And everybody in the band was open to it, but I just never could figure out a way that wasn't like pretty lame.
Yeah.
I had the same thing with I used to play like samba and Brazilian, drum music in college and a little bit after, and it actually is super related. Like there's these big bass drums that are tuned that go kind of bing bong bing bong, and that's basically bluegrass. But I could never figure out a way that wasn't cheesy. Fusion is kind of you need a real deft hand to make that work.
Right. Cool. Bass player. You don't have a mic. We never give bass players mics because
We don't need a mic.
that's right.
Yeah, my name is Jean-Luc Davis. I grew up in Denver, Colorado. I was in the band program in school, playing like French horn, was in marching band and stuff, but I wanted to be in jazz band in high school. So I started playing electric bass, and then somebody hit me to playing upright. So it's like, oh man, you'll get all the gigs if you play upright. And then I quit playing French horn because I got all the gigs playing upright. And went to school, studied classical music and jazz. and been freelancing in Denver, doing that for a while, and then a few years back started playing more roots and acoustic music because people are way nicer.
Ah, that's good. Yeah, yeah. And you don't get many gigs on the French horn in roots.
I have not been offered one, so we'll see. Cross my fingers.
Yeah, there you go. So
That
front
was a really
range.
big reason why I moved to acoustic music, because from jazz is everybody's so nice.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wait, what are you saying about jazz? We don't. It's okay. We don't have to go there. Yeah.
So Front Range is the name of the band. Let's talk about. Let's
Or
get
is
another
it?
song.
Front country.
Or
the
is
name
it?
of
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's Friday.
the most
Front-
common mistake, actually.
Front country.
Yeah, actually, everyone always thinks we're from Colorado
I know.
too because of that. But yep, no, California. Just keep going.
Apologies. Let's get a song and then we'll talk about your new record. How about that and where you're going? So,
This is one from these here mountains ish. This is a tune by the Carter family that we recorded on our last record, and we were lucky enough to get to play this at the IBMA Awards at one point, and that was really really fun because we completely messed up this song, and so it is traditional. We're gonna be real traditional right now and do The Storms Are on the Ocean.
all right, Front Country playing live today in Studio B in front of their show tonight up at Pisgah Brewing Company in Black Mountain. So that's an old Carter family song, of course.
Yes.
Um,
If you've been watching Ken Burns, you know all about this.
So what's the reaction when you take a song that's just like Southern Appalachian defining, that genre, and it like you've really changed that song? How do people take that?
It was a mixed reaction. I'm not going to say that we didn't come to it with a little bit of a punk rock attitude, getting to play that at the awards show. Bluegrass is changing though, and it's such a big tent, and we were really honored to be invited to get to play our version of that song. I always thought that the lyrics of that song were super rock and roll. Stores on the ocean. I would make that sound more metal, but I'll destroy my voice. But yeah, it seemed like it needed more of a rock vibe. It's like so sweet, the original.
What's 80 years old, that song?
Yeah.
So that songs can stretch across 3 generations or whatever that is and still connect. And then, what do you do to tweak them to update them? I don't know. It's interesting. Though.
Bluesify it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. You want to talk about sort of this evolving sound? I mean, we keep saying bluegrass, but we're not hearing traditional bluegrass here at all today. What's going on with this band, anyhow?
We've just been really kind of following our own path and trying to put less rules and limitations. At first, we started with limitations of like, okay, it's just going to be string band instruments, and we're going to really find our sound through that limitation. Sometimes you can find more creativity through limitation. And then I think as we got more sure of our voice, it became less important what instruments it's happening on. So our new record's got any number of things going on, including drums and keyboards. And yeah, we're kind of not scared of that. I think it really still sounds like front country music.
Mm-hmm. And there's so many bands out there, young bands. I don't know, our generation, younger generation bands who are quote bluegrass, who are now they're adding drums or they're adding non-traditional bluegrass rhythms and harmonies and things like that. Any thoughts on that or what's going on there?
I don't know that the bluegrass acts have been adding drums for years,
Yes.
sort of. I love reminding people of the like Osborne Brothers and Earl, Sam Bush, yeah. So I don't know if it's the drums. I think maybe I wonder. Y'all weigh in or cut me off. But I wonder if it's a way it really helps maybe amplify the sound and get it across to larger audiences. So I wonder if, when those folks started playing for tons more people, maybe that had something to do with it. But it's complete conjecture.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing this is being recorded.
I think that's totally right. There's something about electricity and big percussion that for a big audience really gets it across in certain ways. And I also think that especially in our generation, and people coming up, younger bands come from such diverse backgrounds. Like the folks who just grew up playing only bluegrass and acoustic music are less and less. I mean, I know none of us really grew up playing just one style of music. And so when you have a band that's your own band, you're in your own voice, you really want to get across all your influences. And that's kind of what in a way bluegrass has always been about. Bill Monroe was bringing in blues and old time music and jazz, And I feel like, all the stuff that's happening now is just a continuation of that tradition. Dare I use that word?
Yeah, it's hard to say. There's definitely like great bands that I don't notice till later that they don't have drums, like the Punch Brothers or Green Sky Bluegrass. Like they just bring such a powerful show, energy. They get people dancing. Like it doesn't seem to matter. But I would say that like most of popular music has drums, so I think some kind of mainstream audiences will, I think, look sideways at string bands and be like, I don't know what to do with this, like, and we understand it. We're like, this rocks, but they're just like, why doesn't it have drums?
And not just drums, but like the rhythm or your singing. I mean, you're kind of a soul singer, really.
Yeah, I think that that's part of it too, is that our influences kind of, I think, come to more fruition with drums. Speaking of bands with drums, that started out that way. Fruition, they're so good. I love them.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's really just about the song.
Sure.
It's always that was always a starting point for us. It's just good songs and trying to arrange and serve the singing in the songs.
As your sound has evolved, do you find that fans have gone with you? Has your audience shifted? Thoughts on that?
We shall see. We shall see. Yeah, it's hard to say. How can you say when you've actually found your audience? I think it keeps changing over time, keeps growing. And I see like careers of, legacy artists out there that have alienated people at different times with different albums and have brought them back, or, it's like...
How boring if you never do that, though, right? Or at
right?
least take that chance.
Yeah, I've always loved the reinvention idea.
Yeah, I think if you're not alienating someone, you're not making progress.
If someone's not mad, what was the point?
Yeah.
I don't know. But it sounds great today, really. Sounds fantastic. New record is coming out. Do you have any targets?
Sometime next year.
Yeah.
It's in the can. It's recorded. We're just, we want to do a good job with it. We were really proud of it. So we're patiently working to make sure it gets to as many years as possible.
We were talking about it's a little bit off mic, but is that hard? You made this record, you're charged up, and then you go and set it on the shelf for a year. Is that tough, or is that just the thing you do?
Yeah, it just requires patience and like reminding yourself that how proud of it you are and how you don't want to just put it out. You want to make sure it's going to have the team and the legs it needs to do what we think it might be able to do, and just because we're proud of the songs, we think they mean something and want people to hear them.
So it's all original material on the new record, or?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, it's all original, and I think one way we're trying to keep it fresh so we don't kind of burn out on it is we're holding back, I think, at least half the record. We've been playing a couple of these songs for almost a year now that we recorded, but some of them we're just gonna wait on so we don't get sick of them, So we're gonna wait till actually this album release tour to like really debut like the other half of the record, and hopefully that'll keep it fresher longer for us and our fans.
Yeah, cool. So Front Country again playing live today there at Pisgah Brewing Company in Black Mountain tonight. Then you're in the Southeast for a little while longer, and you head out to California again, is it?
Yep. We're down near Atlanta tomorrow, and then next weekend down to the Swanee Roots Revival in Live Oak, Florida.
Yeah.
And then heading out west.
Cool. Yeah, the festivals are fun.
Oh, yes.
I'm ready for festivals to be cooler at nighttime.
The cold front's coming tonight, right? It's going to be
Yes.
like
Is
20
it tonight?
like 20 degrees colder tomorrow.
We're in the mountains too. That's going to be nice.
It'll all be good. So, all right, let's get another song. Front Country playing live.
All right, we're gonna keep it semi-trad here. We're gonna do a Woody Guthrie song, just like he wrote it.
All right. Happy Friday afternoon. Live music at WNCW from Front Country. Meeting up with Woody Guthrie there. I don't know why those tried things. So what's going on? You got the record coming out someday. You got shows. And anything else really like cool in the future coming up? Shows, gigs.
Yeah, we're touring out through the rest of the year. We'll be out west in California for a few weeks, which is kind of our old home base.
Right.
So we get to go out there and play at for the first time we're going to play at Phil Lesch's venue, the Terrapin Crossroads. I'm a huge Deadhead. I've never been there.
Is Phil going to be there?
I think it's very likely from what I've heard that he's kind of always there if he's not on the road. That would be a majorly cool thing.
Someone was telling me that he like watches from like a monitor system, like a CCTV, and I guess if he likes the band, maybe he comes down and checks it out.
So you guys are seasoned musicians. What gets you nervous? Does Phil watching you from hidden TV? Is that what does it?
That just about does it, yeah.
Might get me nervous.
That's cool. Yeah. Any other big plans down the road for the band? Things?
World domination.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
total world
Yeah.
domination as usual.
If anyone could send help with that, that would be great.
Have you toured overseas much?
Yeah, we have. We just got back from a UK tour
Yeah.
at the end of the summer here. We went to Australia for the first time this year.
How was that?
It was cool. It was very far away.
Yeah.
It was about as far as you can get. So that was cool.
Do you find that the audience, the way you, I mean, yeah, I'm sure you react to the audience as you're doing your show when you go to other countries and things. Do you change? Or
Yeah, it's different. It's hard to like not change and not sort of take it personally. We're so sensitive as artists to the audience, you know? So I find that in England, people are just very reserved, especially while the music is happening. They're just listening and really enjoying it, but they're so quiet. And then at the end, they'll just like explode with applause. And you're like, okay, they didn't hate it. But like, I've talked to so many bands about this, and like, they just feel like they're getting vibed out the first show that they play in England. And then it's cool after that. Like, okay, cool. That's just their style. It's cool. Cultural.
They're just paying
sensitivity.
attention.
yeah, what if
It's off-putting.
Yeah. We're like, we need some hoots and hollers, man.
people talking and clinking glasses or something? So, all right, the show's tonight at Pisgah Brewing Company in Black Mountain, and someday a new record will come out, and it's going to sound great. So, yeah, thanks for coming in, y'all. Really sounds nice.
Thanks
today.
for having us.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah, everyone should come because it's going to be way more fun in person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
so much more fun live.
What time is there? Do you know? Is there opener? Or what time you start? You know,
There's an
things?
opener. We start around 9:15 ish. Yeah, come have a beer
Yeah, cool.
at Pisgah.
Yeah, it's Friday. Let's get one more song before y'all head out today.
It's a good segue. Good segue. This one's about traveling, and if anybody can answer this question for us, that would be great.
Very nice. Front Country playing live today in Studio B. What the song is called?
Keep traveling.
Traveling. It's great.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. It sounded great. Thanks. Have fun tonight.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Good
Y'all
luck on
come.
that record. Come again. Live sessions on WCW are made possible by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company.